Hey everybody, it's Al, and it's a little bit of a semi-take, which you'll be happy about because I'll be more succinct in what I am saying. This is Here I Stand Up, and our continuing series of our New Life Yet to Be Named Network. We have a show on just about every day of the week for you, and my job is to take my 33 years of full-time stand-up comedy experience and road trips and crazy travel and not do comedy per se, but tell you some of the real life things that happen. That being said, we also want to let you know there is going to be a Here I Stand comedy show here at the church on Sunday, the 12th of December. It will be at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. And it will be me and some of my friends who are very funny folks. Going to last probably about between an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. I think you're going to have a great time. Possibly, it's not like a comedy club or anything like that. No, nobody will have an open bar on the side, even though Lutherans are allowed to drink. But we didn't go that far. We want to test this out, see who comes, everything like that. The ticket, I promise you, it's free. You can go online to our website at newlifesarasota.org. Mm-hmm. Yes, newlifesarasota.org. And click the link that will get you basically the reservations. It gets you free tickets. However, the tickets are $20 value. We're not requiring it, we're not asking it, but what we are saying is that the folks that are coming in to do this have been hit by COVID closures as much, if not more so, than a lot of people, and they're all entertainers, and whatever does come across, I'm certainly going to be able to give them some extra money. Okay, that being said, Here I Stand Up, a real life story. We go back to the year 1993, the second year, actually going into the third full year that I was a full-time stand-up comedian. Had a show, was leaving Statesboro, Georgia, and heading towards Savannah, Georgia, of which I was neglectful on stopping for gas. If you know the area of I-95 down there were no satellites, there was no apps, there was no nothing but prayer that you could get to a particular station. I see one in the distance, my prayers are answered, I roll in, it's a normal day, I'm pumping my gas just like I would any other time, and across to the second pumps, up comes one of those, they had to be 70s, I don't even know if they made them in the 80s. An old VW bus. And for those of us that are old enough, not a derogatory term, we called them a hippie bus. Right?
Flower power.
Flower power. And on the side was these decorations of this, I want to say Chuckles the Clown, or some clown name, I forget, and her co-star. Chuckles came rolling up to a gas pump to get gas. They don't have air conditioning. The windows are down. Chuckles is in full clown regalia. And when I'm talking full clown, I'm talking down to the ball on the nose and the whole
Wow.
everything. All right. Her friend, her partner, happens to now in our era we call them a little person. Mm-hmm. And that little person is seated over on the other side, and they just pull up, and they don't get out of the car. And I'm trying to minding my own business. However, remember, it is probably late summer. It's no air conditioning. Their windows are open. And apparently, Chuckles the Clown and the little person were in more than just a business relationship. And what I mean is, I don't know if they were, I don't know what their real status was, but it was like, I think they had some type of romantic status. Well, there was barbs thrown at Chuckles was upset at the little man for something he had apparently not anything horribly scandalous, but I mean it was something he didn't put away or something like that, and she must have just had it. He must have been one of those dudes who didn't put things away, and she was just belting it out and through the window. So of course that gets my attention, and the guy, the gentleman, the small person says, I've had it with this whole business, this relationship. Now they're, mind you, they've mentioned, I've overheard that they're on their way to some birthday party or event.
Oh wow.
And he's now as mad as she is. And they are exchanging things that dare I say, I wouldn't say even in a regular public forum, much less a church video. And he apparently said, kind of called her one of the ultimate bad names that you don't call a woman. And you can't tell she was a woman, but she jumps out of the car, and mind you, ladies and gentlemen, truthfully, she is driving, and how she's driving, I don't know, with her floppy shoes.
Oh,
She has clown floppy shoes on. She tears the Velcro. I didn't know they were attached by Velcro. That's how they did it. She tears the Velcro off of one of the floppy shoes, and she starts to whack the little person.
Oh no.
Yes, and he's like kind of, and I mean, I'm sure it must hurt, but not. I mean, I think it makes more noise. I mean, than anything. And he jumps out and says, "I'm done with this whole thing." Well, he rips the door open, of which, you know, in my instant mind, thinking he's gonna grab his little bag. I don't know,
Sure.
and be off. But no. There is circus equipment in the back of this, including birds. That one of the two had a bird act.
Oh my goodness.
So he crawls into the backside, and he says, well, then you can just go take care of these birds. And he starts shooing the birds out of the cages.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and so the birds are trained birds, though. Obviously, as I thought about later, because the birds didn't just fly off into the sky. The birds thought it was part of the act, and like one of them landed sitting on the gas pump calmly next to me, where I'm pumping gas, right?
Wow.
So they're like going at it, and the next thing you know, there are props and triangles and balls, and I mean, and they're just throwing stuff at one another. And I've had with you, you know, we can't make this thing work, and we should have never left the circus, and blah blah. I mean, just blah 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 blah. Well, I have now pumped 7,000 gallons of gas into my car because I was just sitting there
Oh yeah.
being so stunned. You know, I mean, you know, I obviously I stopped when it stopped. When the handle popped, and I come walking up, and these are the days of the outdoor pay guys that have the 4-inch bulletproof glass windows. And if you could imagine that the pay guy was watching all this go down too.
Oh.
So he has his nose pressed up against the window, you know, just like in this stunned silence. And I'm going up there to give him my $20. And he goes, should I call the police? That's what he's asking me. And I said, and tell them what? That there is a clown and a little person in a fight, and there's birds and hula hoops and triangles all over the gas station. And I said, the only thing funnier, ladies and gentlemen, would have been that if they did call the police and a little teeny police car showed up, and 90 policemen would have jumped out of the police car. But folks, no, obviously that didn't happen. No embellishment. True story of my life, of which, just to let you know how stunning it was to me, just being this normal guy out on the road. You know, I had to find, I normally would talk to my wife at certain times during the day. I literally got my wife out of stop work and called her, and she thought, you know, I was in an emergency, and I had to tell this story to somebody. But this is what road life looks like for an entertainer. It's what I do for a living. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world. I wish I had a conclusion to that story, and I don't, because like most people, I got in my car and left because I didn't know what was coming out, what equipment was coming out next. Luckily, one of the trained birds didn't sit on my car, and I paid my money and was off to the next adventure. So you can see, I hope you enjoy these adventures and these stories. This is kind of what you're going to get on Sunday, only probably with a little more flow and comedy element. This is my real life, and this is Here I Stand Up, and we will see you